So number 1, I have a to the 6th b squared, right? Because I have 6 a's and 2 b's. So that gives me a to the 6th b squared. Okay. And number 2. Wow, number 3. Okay. 3 times 5 is 15. And then I have 3 x's, so that's x cubed. And I have 9 y's, so that's y to the 9th. Okay. And then number 3, I'm going to take this 3 that's on the outside. And since there's no plus signs on the inside, I can distribute the 3 through everything. And 5 to the 3rd, so this would become 5 to the 3rd power, x to the 6th power, and y to the negative 9th power. And then if I simplify everything, I get 5 to the 3rd power is 125 x to the 6th over y to the 9th. Woo. Okay. And then number 4, I think that I'm going to simplify everything inside first. So I'm going to get 2 y to the 6th over x to the 3rd, all to the negative 1 power. All that negative 1 is going to do is make me flip it upside down. So I've got x to the 3rd over 2y to the 6th. That should be what the answer is there. Awesome. And then number 5, again, I'm going to simplify the inside first, I think. And so I'm going to get 4x squared all over y squared z to the 4th. And so then the negative 2 means I'm going to flip it upside down. So it becomes y squared z to the 4th all over 4x squared all squared. And then that squared gets distributed through everything. So I should get y to the 4th, z to the 8th, all over 16x to the 4th. There we go. Done. Questions? Sheesh. What are we sheeshing about?
I don't know how you, man. It's crazy how you can just think and say it like so.
Because I already did it once.
Oh.
See, I did it on my paper.
And then, I have a hard time doing that. It's so problem.
I did it first before I said it and did it.
You better get it.
I try. Okay, so next we're going to move on to doing this whole day is about square roots. So it's a root day. Square roots, nth roots, cubed roots, fourth roots, fifth roots, whatever roots. It's a what?
I saw a TikTok and I downloaded it.
Oh, okay.
It was about roots.
Cool. This could be interesting. Okay, so it says for each number, find all of its square roots. So all of its square roots. So what's all of the square roots of 100? Is that all?
2.
5, 10, 20.
So 10 is one of them, but there is another one.
20.
No.
50.
No. Anybody know what the other square root of 100 is?
100.
25.
So 25 times 25 is 100.
Oh, wait, I did it wrong. Wait, hold on.
There's another number, when I multiply it together by itself, I get 100.
100.
100 times 100 is 100?
Oh, wait. 1.
1 times 1 is 100.
Wait. Hold on. Just give me a sec. You're pressuring me.
I haven't said anything.
Wait, how? So 11 times 11 is 121.
Is it negative 10?
Very good, Vanessa. -10.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Vanessa cheated. She looked looked at my paper.
Cheater.
She totally did. Okay, right? Because 10 times 10 is 100. And negative 10 times negative 10 is also 100. Two different numbers. Okay? So, okay, what about 225?
Oh. Give me a second.
Okay. Give you a little harder one, 225.
15.
And?
Negative 15.
Very good. 15 and negative 15. Perfect. Now it's your turn. And?
Negative 11.
Thank you. 11 and negative 11. Okay, what about B?
We'll give him 10.
You're going to give somebody else a chance?
Yeah, I already got it.
150 and negative 150.
I'm sorry?
150 and negative 150.
150 times 150 is not 2,500.
Oh, 50.
50 and negative 50?
There you go. 50 and negative 50. And then 625.
Is
I didn't get that one.
I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
300.
No.
300 times 300 is 625.
Oh, 200. No. Man, I suck at guessing.
So let me put this in your head. 50 times 50 is 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be under 50 because it's 625.
Okay, 13.
13 times 13 is 169.
18.
289, I think.
26.
Put it in the.
Yeah, 26.
I don't know what 26 times 26 is, but it's not. Because listen, 26, so I can answer that question. What's 6 times 6?
36.
36. So it would end in a 6. Does this end in a 6? Ooh.
Wait.
Yes, nice. Moses.
You got it?
Yeah, Moses got it.
Wait.
I told you how to find the answer. You put 625 in your calculator and you take the square root of it.
Okay, give me a second. Because my calculator doesn't know how to act. Hold on.
No one said it.
Don't say it. I'm being so serious.
Ready? Did I answer it?
It's 625. I got 0.
Emma, did you say it already?
25 and negative 25. Okay, so now we're just going to simplify some square roots. So unless they ask for both, so like right now it said find all of the square roots. Most of the time if I'm taking a square root, I only find the positive unless they're asking for all of them or I'm solving for a quadratic, right? Because quadratics have two answers. So I need the positive and the negative. But most of the time when I'm dealing with square roots, I'm only looking for the positive. So think about when I'm doing Pythagorean theorem, right? I'm finding distance. Distance is always positive. So there's lots of things where I'm only dealing with the positive part of the square root. So really, unless it asks for both positive and negative, or I'm solving like for a quadratic or something like that, I'm only going to deal with the positive part. Is that okay with you guys? So for the next part, we're only dealing with the positive part of the square root. So what is the square root of 49? Anybody? 7. Good job. What about the negative square root of 100?
Oh, negative. $25.
Negative 10. Thank you. What's the square root of 4/9?
4/9.
Oh, I can't do fractions.
2/9. Wait. What did you 2/9?
Fractions is hard.
What's the square root of 4? What's the square root of 9? So what's the square root of 4/9? 2/3. Awesome.
Dang, okay, Emma.
I literally gave you the two easiest square roots there were in this fraction.
Okay.
What's the square root of 0.36? Ooh.
0.6.
Yes. 0.6. Nice job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now it's your turn to simplify those ones. Go. It's because I'm old. 144. 12. Good job. What's the square root of 36 over 49?
6/10.
6/7.
What?
Square root of 49 is not 10.
Oh, shoot, my bad. I wasn't thinking.
What's the square root of, what's negative square root of 196? What? Negative 14. Beautiful. It's negative 14 because there's a negative on the outside. Okay. And what's the square root of 0.0016?
0.004.
0.08.
8.
0.04.
I was just kidding.
Yeah, I can tell. Nice job. Any questions on how to find square roots? Awesome. You guys are awesome. Okay, so now we're going to do something slightly harder. Not really. For each function, find the specified function value if it exists. So basically we have 4 different things we're going to find. So I have f of t equals the square root of 5t minus 10. And they just want us to find f of 3. So we're going to find f of 3 first. So wherever there's a t inside my function, I'm going to put a 3. So I've got the square root of 5 times 3 minus 10, which equals the square root of 15 minus 10, which equals the square root of 5. Done with that one. And then I'm going to go to f of 2. And I'm going to find f of 2, which is, let me slide, I need a little bit more room, sorry. The square root of 5 times 2 minus 10, which is the square root of 10 minus 10, which is the square root of 0, which equals 0. Square root of 0 is easy to find. And then I want to find, what's the next one? F of 1. F of 1. So I've got the square root of 5 times 1 minus 10, which equals the square root of 5 minus 10, which equals the square root of negative 5, which, as far as we know right now, oh, you can't hear me, Rukia? Do I need to just talk louder? Can you just not hear me at all, Rukia? Can everybody else hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Not you in class. Yeah, okay.
We could hear you.
Rukia, you might need to turn off your computer and turn it back on. It must be something with your volume.
I think you need a chat app. I should hear you.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, maybe. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, so I'm having a good day.
Sorry, I didn't even make that sound.
No, that's, well, I didn't even think about it. To turn your restart. We need to restart your computer. Oh, she already did. She already did it. She's smarter than we are. Well, definitely smarter than I am. Okay, so we don't know. She's not in the meeting. See, I sent the message and she's already fixed it. Rukia, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so because we haven't done complex numbers yet, or imaginary numbers yet, we're pretending we don't know what an imaginary number is. This one doesn't exist, right? So this one just doesn't exist. Doesn't exist, it's imaginary, right? So I'm just gonna say we're just gonna call it an imaginary because we know it's imaginary. We're not gonna pretend that we don't know what it is. We're just gonna say it's imaginary. And then f of negative 1 is gonna be the square root of 5 times negative 1 minus 10, which is negative 5 minus 10, which is the square root of negative 15, which is another imaginary number, okay? So any questions on how we did that? Everyone okay?
So if it's negative, it's an imaginary number?
Yeah, if there's a negative inside the square root. If it's outside the square root, we're fine. But if it's inside the square root, because remember, square root means I need to find two numbers, multiply two of the same numbers multiplied together that equals that. And there's no way to get two of the same numbers multiplied together to become negative, right? So that's why you can't have a negative inside the square root.
So we're not going forward with it?
With these two? No, not with these two. Not yet.
Okay.
We will.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Just not today. Okay. So go ahead and do A. Please do this.
Each might be double.
I guess Nia doesn't want to help with the volleyball team next year.
Wow.
Negative 6 squared minus 25 equals the square root of 36 minus 25, which I think is the square root of 11. Yeah, I think that's right. And then we've got f of 3, which is the square root of 3 squared minus 25, which equals 9 minus 25, which equals the square root of negative 16. Negative 16? Yeah, negative 16. And then we've got f of positive 6, which is the square root of 6 squared minus 25, which equals the square root of 36 minus 25, which equals the same thing as that. Like how I just drew an arrow. And then f of, f of 13 is going to be the square root of 13 squared minus 25, which equals the square root of 169 minus 25, which equals the square root of 141. There we go. Okay, questions? Everyone okay with that? Not too huh?
Can I go to sleep?
What?
Can I take a nap?
No.
Wait, should it be 144?
Oh, 144. Oh, my Atlanta. Yes, 144, which equals 12. Sorry, I did the math in my head, so. Thank you. 144, which is 12. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to add some variables into our square roots. Beautiful. I know you guys are really excited about that. And we're going to add different powers of roots, so not just square roots. Okay, so the square root of 100x squared. So remember, I need two of the same thing inside to bring one out. That's pretty much what a square means, right? So I have two x's inside, so I can bring one x out. And the square root of 100 is 10, and the square root of x squared is x, so it should be 10x. Is there any questions on that? Are we okay? Nia, what are you doing?
Huh?
What you doing?
You taking notes?
So the square root of 8 minus t squared, I have 8 minus t in there 2 times. So the square root of 8 minus t is just 8 minus t. Done. Done. So this next one, I may have to factor first just to see if it's a squared. So I'm going to factor it. What multiplies to be 4 and adds to be negative 4? Negative 2 and negative 2, is that right? Yeah. So that would be x minus 2 squared. So now I have a square again, and the square and the square root cancel out, so I get x minus 2. Is there any questions so far? Anybody? We're okay? I knew you guys would be able to do this, right? So this is not like, it's like, right? This should not be new, in other words, right? Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to talk about cube root. So cubed root means I need to have 3 of the same thing inside before I can bring something out. And then, so I have the cubed root of negative 1,000. So I can do, you can do a factor tree if you want. So I'm going to, let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's just do a factor tree of 1,000. Well, I know that 10 times 100 is 1,000, and then I have 10 times 10. So 3 tens is 1,000. But is 3 negative tens negative 1,000 is the question. I think it is. Because a negative times a negative is a positive, times a negative is a negative. So that means I could rewrite this as the cubed root of negative 10 times negative 10 times negative 10. Is everyone okay with that? So I have the cube root, so that means I have 3 negative 10s inside, so I can bring 1 negative 10 outside, and there's a negative already on the outside, so that means my answer is positive 10. Okay? Yeah, so if there's a negative on the inside, it's always going to be a negative on the outside, because I can make 3 of anything a negative, right? And it's be negative, or 5 of anything a negative. Any odd amount can always be a negative, because 2 of them will make a positive, and then the other one will be make a negative. Does that help a little bit with that thought? Okay. And then let's see, what's the next one? The fourth root of 6a to the fourth. Well, the fourth root and the fourth power cancel each other out, so I get left with 6a. And then, look, I have the square root of negative 25. Well, right now, we know that this is imaginary. So, you know, we don't know what it is. We do know what it is, but we don't know what it is. We're pretending we don't know what it is, right? For now. So it's just imaginary. In a couple lessons, we'll work on complex numbers. Okay. And then, I'm going to do these 3, and then you guys have a whole bunch of problems to do. So 25x, the square root of 25x squared is what? Oh, Zach, are you just taking a picture? I'm going to put them up there in just a minute, Zach. So what's the square root of 25x squared, people? Anybody?
What?
What's the square root of 25x squared?
25x, because that's the square
Wouldn't it be 5?
5 what?
5x.
5x. So the square root of 25 is? 5. So you just do them separately. And the square root of x squared is? X, yeah. Just take them as 2 separate pieces. Does that help a little bit?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, what's the cubed root of 27?
That's 9. No?
So 9 times 9 times 9 is 27?
No. 3.
3, there you go. Because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27.
It's 27.
Right, because cube root means I have to have 3 of the same thing inside to bring 1 out. Right? Okay, and then this one, I'm going to have to maybe do a little factoring and maybe rearrange this. So I can rewrite this as x squared minus 6x plus 9. And then what multiplies to be 9 and adds to be negative 6. Negative 3 and negative 3, is that right? So this would be x minus 3 squared. So the square root and the square cancel out, so I get x minus 3.
So if they're in parentheses, that's when you can.
Yeah, that's when they, yes.
Okay, I was trying to do that myself.
Oh, yes, no. So the difference between here and here, this parenthesis here, right, yeah, because it has a minus in there. This one I just take separately because it's multiplied together. So you take them separate. Does that help a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you could actually rewrite this one as 5x squared. Does that help a little? Does that make it? Okay. So you guys have a whole bunch of problems here to do. I don't know if I can get them all up there on one page. What, honey? Sorry. Record. Beautiful. That was a good job, Campbell. Okay, the square root of 16x squared is?
8 squared. 8. 4.
4 what, Nia?
4x.
Beautiful. Okay, the square root, a negative square root of 7c squared.
Negative 7c.
Negative 7c. And then this factors to a plus 1 squared. So the square root of a plus 1 squared is
A squared.
a plus 1.
A plus 1. Just do this.
I don't know why I'm using all the same color, but you know, whatever. The cubed root of negative 64x cubed.
4. No, just kidding.
It's close.
3.
3 times 3 times 3 is 64.
No, 4. 5.
5 times 5 times 5 is 64.
No.
It's not 4. It's something close to 4.
6.
Because it's got to be negative 64.
Negative 4.
There you go. And the cubed root of x cubed is?
Negative 4x squared. Negative 4x.
Your key is back in. Negative 4x. Very good. And the square root of x minus 2 to the 8th power.
X minus 2 to the... I don't know. I can't do this.
X minus 2 to the what power?
The third. The fourth.
Eva, your sister's making beautiful faces.
Who?
I don't know, her sister, I'm assuming. So to what power? How many x minus 2's do I have?
Who is it?
I don't know, but she just screamed on my recording.
Wait, whose sister?
Eva.
Is it really?
No. Okay, how many x minus 2's do I have in underneath the root? 8,
8.
right? How many sets of 2 do I have? Because remember,
4.
There we go.
I said 4.
Oh, I didn't hear you say 4.
He said 6.
I said 4.
She said every number under the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, but does that make sense? So I have sets of 4. I need to make sets of 2, right? So I have 8. So how many sets of 2 do I have? 4. So I can bring 4 sets of 2 out. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So I says I have negative square root of a to the... Eva, would you like to get in trouble for what your brothers and sisters are doing to my recording right now? Because I have not a problem calling your parents. Okay, what's the negative square root of a to the 14th?
Negative A7.
There you go. You said it, but then you kind of backed off of it, Zach. Yeah, because I have 14 A's, so how many groups of 2 A's do I have? 7. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Okay, so...